Hi, I'm Beth Ramsey. I am from Trace3. I am a senior data engineer, and I am here to talk to you about Unity Catalog and how to go from silos to collaboration using Delta sharing. All data engineers come into projects or as an FTE using different customers or having different customers so that they have to work with different groups of people who want to be able to query the data. And sometimes they want their own copy of the data so that they have their own freedom to build what they wish. We work with data scientists, BI report builders, dashboard builders, testers of the BI side data lakehouse and of the source system that are using our data lakehouse to test what's going on in the source. We also work with business leaders who want to know how their business is doing, and they expect all of us, no matter what silo it came from, to come out with the same answer and to be able to rely on us. Our current customer uses Azure Synapse to move their data from their source into their data warehouse. They had some slowness issues because of the way that they have full copies of tables that they have to load every night. So what they did to speed up their process was to cut out some of the data and then only keep up two environments at a time. So they typically have dev and prod up all the time. And then when they need to test something or test something in their prod stage environment to see what the actual production data failures are, then they have to take down dev and then they spin up UAT or prod stage, depending on which one they need. And this caused some issues with not only are they having slowness with their data warehouse, but the Power BI team or the other actuary teams that they have working with them are now unable to work with the dev environment. So they could not get new features added while the data engineer team is working on UAT or prod stage. So what they did was they started building their own copies of the data warehouse. And this caused for more costs and more slowness because now you have the same giant data warehouse being refreshed either nightly or monthly for each group. So in order to try to make this flow work better, what we've done is decided to work with Databricks and use Unity Catalog and Delta sharing. So now here, this is the part where I get kind of excited. So what we've been able to do by using Unity Catalog is now we no longer have to filter down the data that we're pulling in. We are able to pull in everything. We are able to pull in all of the dev, all of the UAT, and all of the prod data at once and push it into a catalog. And then from the catalogs, we're sharing them differently across workspaces. So our development workspace has not only the dev catalog, but also the prod catalog. So we're able to skip using the prod stage environment that they used to have. So we've already cut one environment. And what we do with the prod data is we're able to now see real world data, how people are actually entering into the systems without having to refresh any servers or source systems because we don't have full control over all of the source systems. So this gives us the ability to work with and test real data before it moves to prod. And that way we can actually see failures and prevent them before the users even know that they could happen. So this has been super beneficial for us to be able to work with multiple data inside of one workspace. So we only use the dev data to test new features so that if a new column is added or a new product is added, we can actually start making sure that the new columns and tables that are coming in are going through. But then we switch back to prod once those pieces are going into prod, then we know that those pieces are also there. We can build for it and we can keep going. And then we have another workspace for UAT that is used primarily for just testing those new features that come in so that if somebody wants to see if the test data came in and goes to reporting fine, we're able to create that workspace and that flow so that the BI team can actually build out those reports and show the source system people who want to know if it's working fine all the way through. The business can see, yes, your new data is captured before you decide to go ahead and move it to prod. And then we also have our prod workspace, which is for most users, it will just have prod data in it. And then we share that across to all of the teams that need that data. So here's where the cool part comes in. So in order to try to make it where you still have some control over your data, but your data users may not need all of the data. So you don't have to give them the whole catalog. You could do a Delta share. And the Delta Share allows you to give specific tables to specific workspaces. So what we've done is we've created a share from the dev data and the UAT data and prod data to the BI team so that they can do their development of new pieces, their C-test data, and have real world reporting all in their one environment or their one workspace. So, and then we also have an actuary team and other business teams that we want to be able to give them access to the data as they need it. So we've given prod data to the business teams that need it and to the actuaries and data scientists who need it. And then you're also able to filter down and create views, which is super cool. So that you can see like certain groups. So if you have a business team that only can see product A, you can actually filter it down in that view and still share that with them so that they have access to the data without making additional copies of the same data over and over. You can literally just share what they need with them when they need it. Okay, to try to help you out and make this less overwhelming, I want to show you how easy it is to set up a Delta Share. So what you're going to want to do is go into your Databricks workspace and go to on the left side, or it may be different for you, find catalog. Click on catalog, and then once you see that, you're going to see a menu that has a cog right next to the word catalog. And you're going to click that cog and click on Delta Sharing. Once you click into Delta Sharing, you're going to see a new little window pop up that has either shared with me or shared by me. And you're going to want to click on shared by me. Once you click share by me, you're going to want to click the blue button that says share data. A new window is going to pop up that says share name. So when you're putting in your name, you need to think about who may use this data. This data could be shared to different groups. It could be shared to one group with specific tables. You may add additional shares later, or you may add different recipients later. So try to think about what you're naming this so that you can share this across and you know what you're sharing to other groups. After you've named your share, you can hit save and go, and it'll go to the next screen, which is going to be probably one of the coolest features of the share is it will show you all the catalogs that you have access to, and then you will be able to go into those catalogs and look in the schemas and then into the tables, and you can pick many levels of tables or schemas, the whole schema if you need to share it with this particular share. So you can go in here and check specific tables, and then, or you can share a notebook file. You can actually share your code or a certain kind of code, maybe not all your code, with other groups. So it's super useful and unique, and it makes the Databricks Delta Share very unique to me. Once you've assigned all your assets, you can now get to the part where you get to add your recipients. So you'll have two options. One is either select an existing recipient after you do this a few times, that makes it simplified for you. But then if it's the first time you've ever done this, you have to set up a new recipient. So what I like to do for setting up a new recipient is my recipient name, I like to use the AD group so that I logically know which group I am giving access to. For us, we will be sharing data across a Databricks workspace, so I'm going to keep the Databricks selected. And the sharing identifier, it doesn't necessarily tell you exactly what you need, so I'm giving you a cheat code here on the script. You would run select current Metastore or have your users run that on their version of their workspace to make sure that you get the current Metastore. And the string that comes back in that script or is returned from that script, you're going to want to put that in the sharing identifier. And you can add any additional notes that you need and then hit create and add recipient. Once you've completed your recipient, you've now shared data with the recipients. And now they can go into their workspace and see the data via the same way that you got in by going to catalog and then to the catalog menu and the cog and then selecting Delta Sharing. Now they will be able to see what has been shared with them. And once they have that, they can actually basically create their own works or catalog that is now a shared catalog. And as you see here, I gave an example where my users shared it and they called it Lakehouse Data. And you'll see it at the kind of the bottom of my diagram here that I can see it now, they can see it now. And then you can also both go in and see what tables that you're sharing with them that are getting updated so that they can get in there and they can write their queries off of that data and mix it with the data that they have on their workspace in their own catalog. So that to me is pretty fast, pretty simple, pretty cool, very big time saver, huge cost saver. This is why I love Delta sharing. So to kind of sum up all the perks of Delta sharing, you've now created one copy of the Lakehouse and you're sharing it across as needed to your users into their workspaces. The users have their own workspaces where they can build out what they need for additional work that they might need to do as the machine learning, their analytics, whatever they need. They can create their own notebooks, but they're also using the data that you've shared with them so that they can do their jobs without having more costs. And the compute that's used within their workspace is also, it can be tagged so that whatever they're doing, they're running their compute. So you can actually look at the billing to try to figure out who gets billed what internally. Another perk is that all the data users be able to work together again and add value. So if somebody's missing something or wants something added to the lakehouse so that it can be shared across with everybody, they can reach back out to the data engineers and ask for more data. Or if they have something they want to share, they can also share it with other workspaces. So it's sharing is great. It creates less silos and actually helps you to be more of a team across your company. So thank you.